friends, and welcome again to Jeffco Connects podcast. My name is Dr. Joanne Fish, and I am the Dean, Associate Dean that is, of Humanities here at Jefferson College. And with me today is Dr. Jan Johnson.
And I'm the Associate Dean of Business, Social Sciences, and Public Service.
And we're super excited today, not just because I'm doing a plug, we have our new merch, our Jeffco Connects podcast mugs, but more importantly than that, we also have Dr. Ann McCoy, who is from the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg, and Brenna Young, who is Director of Advising here at Jefferson College, and they're going to talk to us about a couple of great programs that we've got going on that we just solidified in December. So, Dr. McCoy, would you mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your role at UCM?
Well, it's very nice to be here. My current role at UCM is Interim Vice Provost for Academic Services and Programs. So primarily that means that we're charged with student retention and success. We have advising that works as part of our area as well. It's nice to be here.
Great. Welcome. Brenna.
Yes, so I'm the Director of Advising and Retention here at Jefferson College. We have a pathway model, and so our advising specialists are seeing students based on what their interests are. And so we think this new agreement could potentially, have a really good impact on all of our areas. So we will be meeting next month with the advising staff at Ms. McCoy's University, and we're going to kind of talk about the exciting opportunities.
Excellent. So speaking of that opportunity, so it was back in December, UCM and Jefferson College got together and they have this agreement called Direct Connect Enrollment Agreement, right? And this is sounds like an exciting opportunity. I'm wanting to know what that is, and is it different or the same as like a traditional 2+2?
So Direct Connect is really designed to ease the transfer process for students from Jeffco to the University of Central Missouri. So they're enabled to enroll in both universities at the same time, which reduces the number of hours and the transfer loss that sometimes happens. The two universities will work closely together to make sure students have a good, smooth path so that they can begin working on their bachelor's degree while they're still here. And then again, the major goal is to make the transfer process much smoother and less costly for the students.
Okay, this collaboration sounds like a win-win.
I know.
For
every time
students, yeah.
Every time I hear about this collaboration, it gets better because I've not heard of this kind of enrollment agreement before. I think it's just amazing.
Right.
So Brenna, can you talk a little bit about how our students can participate in this program, especially when, they're thinking about, so they're graduating from high school, or maybe they're in our early college program even, and they know they're eventually going to want a bachelor's degree. So how does this help them?
It's really important for the conversations to be had with their advising specialist on what their, goals are and, how this will align with their future goals. But really, it's just a great opportunity. The sooner we know where they want to transfer, the better. And so, in having those first conversations with students, if they say, I want to go on for a BS in communication, then we can tell them about this opportunity. And we'll have the articulation guides that really map out what they're taking here at Jefferson College and then what they'll be taking when they transfer. But it also just helps, again, with them not taking unnecessary classes as well. So for an advisor, it's just a lot easier for us to help the student if, we're following that guide. So I think that, again, it'll be a really good opportunity for those students.
So it sounds to me like students have a couple of different options. They can either do the Direct Connect enrollment agreement where they're basically students at two different colleges at the same time, or they can start here and do what we call a 2+2 agreement. I think you'll call it an articulation agreement. Is there a big difference for students from a student's perspective with that? Do they need to be thinking about that right away, or is it something they can decide after they're here for a minute?
Well, I mean, I guess that would depend on the individual student, and then whether it's like an online degree or if it's an in-person degree. Because if they live in Jefferson County and then they, are pursuing an in-person degree, they probably can't be in two places at once, but potentially it would still be looking at like summer online class options, or maybe some of those online options that they could take while they're here in person. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
I think the difference is just there's a lot of flexibility. Like you said, they could take some classes here and also be taking online classes from UCM. They could stay here and finish 2 years and then come to UCM. It's just, I think the flexibility that it provides is a benefit.
Right, because every student comes from different circumstances.
Right, exactly. So while we're talking, I'm thinking of this, and this is probably a question for both of you, right? So what kind of supports do we put in place for the students so that they're successful? And I guess I'll start with you, Anne, if that's okay.
Yeah, right. So the students would already have advisors at both locations who are working closely together. They would be eligible. I mean, they would be considered UCM students to a certain degree. So they would have access to the supports that we have on campus. We have some online virtual tutoring that they could take advantage of. They'd have access to our career center. So it just makes them students two places, so they have the benefit of support from both of those two places, two colleges.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's the same here at Jeffco.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I do think that probably at the end of every semester, their Jefferson College transcript would be sent over. And so they'd be able to just follow along, their degree audits at both institutions. I think that's really important for students to kind of have a clear understanding of, the classes they're taking and how they're transferring to the four-year institution. But yeah, we have a lot of resources available here, and we have, online tutoring available as well. So if the student did choose to attend the 4-year, they can still, do our online math lab and writing lab, and we have, counseling on campus, but they do virtual options as well. So yeah, I just see it as a really good opportunity for students.
Another resource support that I didn't mention is that UCM is offering a $1,500 scholarship.
I was going to ask about that. I heard about that. Yeah.
Any student who completes their associate's degree here and then transfers to UCM would receive a $1,500 scholarship that's renewable and stackable, so it wouldn't interfere with any other scholarships that they were bringing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about UCM. Why would a student from Jefferson County want to attend a college like University of Central Missouri?
So UCM, all three of my children went to UCM, and they chose it because of the size. It's big enough that we have a lot of programs. We have comprehensive offerings, but it's small enough that the students never feel like they're just a number. So students coming from a community college are going to experience class sizes that are about the same. They're going to experience faculty who have that same student success mindset. It's a smaller community. There's still a lot to do, but it's not an overwhelming campus, which seems to fit well for students transferring from a community college. Lots and lots of opportunities for student organizations, from academic to just social and fun. Lots of things going on campus. Theater performances, music performances, just a lot of things for students to do, but they'll never feel like they're just a number to the faculty and staff there.
Yeah, that's great. I was just going to ask you about student life, residential life, or do people live on campus? Is it more of an apartment situation?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes, okay, yeah.
We have a number of students that continue to live in the residence halls for their entire 4 years. We have a couple of residence halls that are only for upperclassmen, which is nice. We have a lot of students who live off campus as well. The town of Orangeburg has a great amount of housing for students.
Wow. Awesome. this wasn't on our list of questions, but are there opportunities for students to work, like, college student jobs while they're there?
Absolutely. We employ a number of our students.
okay.
Many offices hire multiple students to work in their offices. It's not difficult for students to find employment on campus. If they don't want to work on campus but still want to work, there's lots of opportunities in the community as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
What type of career readiness support do students get at UCM? I mean, we know that we offer that here for students who want to get their associates and then go straight to the job, but for those who want to get their bachelor's degree, what kind of career ready support do you have?
We have an Office of Career and Life Design. They offer courses that students can take on career readiness and then also resume writing, those types of tasks that students need to complete. That's available for students to come in at any time, so freshmen through seniors. We have a professional clothing studio that the students can get 3 items of clothing every month if they have interviews or need it for their internships. We have a very robust system of helping students with career placement. In addition to that, our faculty all understand that it's part of our job is to make sure our students are ready for their careers, so they'll often experience resume writing, interviewing practice in their classes as well.
I just think this is so exciting for our students. I mean,
Right.
we do have agreements with other institutions, but the Direct Connect piece, I think, is something that's a little bit unique. So,
Right, this partnership, it seems like it's offering this collaboration, though, not just through the advising offices, right? I can see this spreading further into the registrar's offices, into the, the support systems, this being a really great relationship.
so when should they start to prepare for a transfer? So Brenna, if a student, they've been working with their advisor, they know they want to do this, is there a point in time where they have to really start to do some practical things?
Well, I mean, the good thing about Jefferson College is all brand new students have to meet with their advisor. And so we really start those conversations at the very first advising appointment. And so again, I think it just depends on their ultimate goals and again, what else they have going on besides just school. But really, I mean, it could be at any time. Now, I will say, again, the sooner the better as far as picking a major and deciding that path. However, if we're just talking general transfer, we always want to have that conversation, 2 semesters before they're actually ready to graduate. Because as we all know, if you get into your last semester, and that's when you start thinking about it, then you miss very important deadlines, applying to the institution and applying for those scholarships. So, we really try to discuss it in every one of our advising appointments. Many of our students still come and see their academic advisor, even though they could self-register, because we have a really good relationship with our students. That pathway model has really helped to, they have that one person on campus that they can come to. So they're really building that relationship from the beginning. But yeah, the sooner the better, really. Now we do have a good number of deciding students. And so part of what the advising specialist does is really just helps them try to figure out their path or their major. So sometimes it does take a little bit longer. But again, we really try to help them along with their decision, sooner rather than later.
Now, so they have to at some point, transcripts sent, and is that something they can do on their own? Or
They can. It's all on our registrar's website. It's the National Student Clearinghouse. It can all just be done electronically.
That's great.
So, yeah, really easy process.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for our students who may want to think about this or start thinking about this, and any direction for them?
Sure. Well, I think UCM is a great university, so I guess I would encourage them to explore us, to visit with the folks here about UCM. It's a great place to finish up a 4-year degree. I would echo what Brenna said about thinking early on and reaching out to people to help you with the steps that you need to take to move to UCM. Once a student gets to UCM, in addition to their professional academic advisor, they'll also have a faculty mentor. And that person, we can connect with the students before they decide to transfer to UCM. We can connect them with who that faculty mentor would be, who could also provide some really specific information about the program that they're looking at UCM.
That's really great.
So let's talk for a second about what programs that we're talking about. We keep talking about program in general. We have kind of a list of programming, but we've got some that we've signed off on that are complete, and some that we're still kind of working through. Do you want to talk about what those are?
Sure. Okay, sure. We have,
Sure, you can, yes. So the ones I've marked the ones that are complete. So
the ones that we have signed off on and everything's good to go, the AA to BS in criminal justice, an AA to BS in kinesiology, AS in biology to a BS in biology, AA to the BSW in social work. We have 2 education degrees, an AAT in elementary education birth through 3, and then an AAT in elementary education grades 1 through 6, media production to communication studies, and I forgot, yes, human development and family science.
And then we have others that we are writing up. We have art, we have music, we have environmental safety. So students, if you're in a program at Jefferson College, chances are there's some connection to some program at University of Central Missouri. All right, well, thank you so much for being here today and taking time out. And Anne's got to get back because they have almost a 4-hour drive back to Warrensburg, and want to beat this weather that might be coming in.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much.
One of the things I'd like to share with you all is that Jeffco Connects, it's really, we enjoy the connection because we like to build relationships. And I really feel like this really comes into what we do. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to this connection and seeing how this relationship develops, and especially for our students. So thank you very much.
Thank you.